The TV1 News is proudly brought to you by
Hello and welcome to another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, Marape called to relinquish leadership. IMF reaches agreement with PNG government on policies, and Hekari United into finals against Auckland City. Former Prime Minister and member for Yalibu Pangia, Peter O'Neill, has publicly urged Prime Minister James Marape to step down and pave way for new leadership within Pango Party. O'Neill's call for Marape to relinquish his position comes amid the impending vote of no confidence scheduled for April 15, 2025.
So the winds of change is upon us, and I am calling on the Prime Minister to listen to the people and act today. And not listening to people who have got vested interest, who are sitting alongside that, listen, you are doing the right thing, so keep going. Either they are blind or they are deliberately leading you off towards the cliff to jump off. But the country is saying, thank you very much for your service, but you've done enough, time to move on. So he needs to reflect on this, making sure that this vote of no confidence goes smoothly. The leaders need to make it. This is an opportunity that Grand Chief is making it available to the nation. He doesn't have to do it. He's got a job. He knows the people of Enga love him, and probably many more, but people of Enga especially. So he's done his part for our nationhood. He's making himself available. So the leaders need to listen to this.
Provincial member for East Sepik, Alan Bird, made similar calls while urging all elected members of Parliament to make decisions for the good of the country.
You have to remember, our government is highly centralized, and it's failing in the center. The call by the Honorable Peter O'Neill is a very important one. Mibla sana backside law. Say Peter because he had the courage to put his hand up. For us, we know that Papua New Guinea needs a change. The people know that Papua New Guinea needs a change. This is nothing personal against James Marape as an individual. But you look at Mosem, first, Hamas 3 years na about here, and Mibla Sato, honeymoon ya. The people of Papua New Guinea gave you a chance to perform in the first 3 years. Now, if you look at every other prime minister through history, you count him, you go back, start no time, no somarena, he come. They had 3 years, all of them. The only government that had a longer stint was National Alliance, had 9 years from 2002. Even then, old man very old tired. After this honeymoon period, old man very tired. And then the Honorable Peter O'Neill and PNC, they went for 8 years. This land goes 6 now. Or people tired. And we need to respond to that call. Okay? We need to respond to that call.
The International Monetary Fund has reached an agreement with the government on policies needed to complete the 4th review of the Extended Credit Facility and Extended Fund Facility arrangements and the first review of the Resilience and Sustainability Facility arrangement. The completion of these reviews upon approval by the Executive Board of the IMF would allow for the immediate disbursement of 658 million kina in financing under the ECF-EFF arrangements and 106 million kina financing under the RSF arrangement. This would bring the total IMF financial support disbursed thus far to 2.5 billion kina.
According to the IMF report, Papua New Guinea's performance under the IMF-supported program over the past 2 years has been strong despite a challenging environment. The report stated that the government has sharply reduced the fiscal deficit and adopted important amendments to the Income Tax Act, a major milestone in the simplification of tax policies, introduced critical governance enhancement to the central bank, and strengthened its operations, leading to improved access to foreign exchange and mopping of excess liquidity, and supported the operationalization of the anti-corruption framework. To further support the development of the financial sector, the IMF has recommended that the Bank of PNG should continue modernizing monetary policy operations and strengthen its liquidity management capacity, develop the interbank market, and operationalize its lender of last resort function as set out in the 2024 Central Banking Act. The report further recommended that the government should address the remaining gaps in the anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism or AML-CFT regime, and further strengthen governance frameworks. Allocating sufficient budget resources to the Independent Commission Against Corruption remains critical to ensure its full and effective operationalization. Macro-structural reforms to improve PNG's external competitiveness and attract foreign investment, including by removing barriers to trade, enhancing export capacity, and further diversifying the economy has been discussed. The IMF recommended that improving the business environment by tackling impediments related to law and order, infrastructure connectivity, and human capital is also critical. The IMF has agreed to continue to work closely with the Papua New Guinea government and stands ready to help not only through financing and policy advice, but also through technical assistance coordinated with other development partners. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
According to the International Monetary Fund report, PNG's economic outlook remains positive, with economic growth expected to increase to 4.7% in 2025 from an estimated 3.8% in 2024. This will be supported by the gradual resumption of activities at the Pugera gold mine and improvements in access to foreign exchange.
According to the IMF report released on Wednesday, April 10, 2025, PNG's economic outlook remains positive despite a challenging environment. The report indicated that the average headline inflation, which is largely affected by the betel nut price volatility, is projected to increase to 4.8% in 2025 after declining to a historic low of 0.6% in 2024. Core inflation, which excludes betel nut and other volatile items, is projected to move up to 4% in 2025, staying below the historical average. The gross international reserves remained adequate at $3.7 billion or 15.18 billion kina at the end of December 2024, which is equivalent to about 5 months of import of goods and services, providing ample space to continue supporting the crawl-like arrangement. The current crawl-like arrangement remains appropriate to bring the kina to its market clearing rate and facilitate the return to kina convertibility, which will also support the economy's growth and development. To support the development of the financial sector, the IMF recommended that the Bank of PNG should continue modernizing monetary policy operations and strengthening its liquidity management capacity develop the interbank market, and operationalize its lender of last resort function as set out in the 2024 Central Banking Act. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
As the country's 50th independence anniversary approaches, a grandmother has recalled her participation in the independence celebrations on September 16, 1975. Colin Guys was 10 years old when the PNG flag was raised for the first time and the Australian flag lowered for the last time. TV1 reporter Jasmine Irujak sat down with Colin and gathered her views about PNG's development over the 50 years.
As the 50th anniversary of the country nears, many people who were around that time have vivid memories of September the 16th, 1975, and many will reminisce this memorable day when everything changed. Colin Guys, who is now 60 years old, recalls the Independence Day 50 years ago when she was 10 years old and was told to march for her school in celebration of the day at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium.
They told all the schools that we're going to march on this September 16. So when the flags came down, when the Australian flag came down, when the Papua New Guinean flag went up, all the people in the country, they were celebrating. They were on their vehicles, painting their faces with this flag painting on. And it was so interesting, and it felt like it was different. The feeling was different. All the children, all the teachers were celebrating, and everything was totally different. They made each flag, big flags for each school. So our flag, the children that were going to hold the flags, they were right in front. And then we were all at the back. And we were so smiling, and everyone was cheering when we were marching.
Colin highlighted current status of the country compared to 50 years ago. According to the Institute of Developing Economies, the Papua New Guinean kina had a relatively high value compared to the Australian dollar, and food prices were generally considered low, although imported food prices did increase due to global inflation.
When we had our independence, after the independence, as I grew up, I could see a lot of difference. When the Australians were here, everything was okay. The food prices were low, the tax was low, everything was okay.
Now Colin prays for the country, sharing that one day, with the help of God, Papua New Guinea will go back to its glory days, where there was no inflation, life was easy, and better services.
People can change. God has His own perfect timing to do things better, to take the people in the right path for the people to live a good life. So I hope whoever will be listening to me, we have to thank our God for taking care of us as we are going to celebrate this 50th anniversary.
Jasmine Erojak, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. We'll be back with the day's other stories after the break. Stay tuned.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Open bets.
Favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier by you like you more.
Welcome back. Day 2 of the inaugural National Tourism Conference successfully brought together tourism industry experts and business leaders to share insight on how their organizations are charting the course for the future of tourism in the country. Discussions surrounding business opportunities was a key area of dialogue this morning. In 2024, Fiji experienced a record-breaking year for tourism, welcoming over 1 million visitors, including over 900,000 tourists arriving by air and more than 81,000 cruise passengers, surpassing the previous year's numbers and exceeding the ambitious target of 960,000. This morning, Chief Executive Officer for Fiji Hotels and Resort Association highlighted Fiji's efforts towards supporting the tourism industry and emphasized that Papua New Guinea too can be a success in this sector through strong political will and creating the right enabling environment for tourism to flourish.
Effective tourism depends on effective policies, local ownership and inclusive economic strategies. I can't stress that enough because this will ensure that its benefits are widespread, while sustainable tourism practices ensure that long-term benefits without harming your environment or your cultural heritage is in place. I kept hearing yesterday 1,200 tribes and diverse cultures, 800 languages, where just one road being built from one side of your country to the other would essentially open tourism to 40 different tribes. My goodness, Papua New Guinea, your tourism future is limitless.
An expert in sustainable tourism, project management, and educational program development, Simon Martin from the Coral Seas Hotel shared insight into the improvements he has been part of.
And we are about actually in a few weeks to launch a digital learning platform. It's a first step. It's a minimal step, but that's an important one, to help having our national staff being groomed and possibly also developing partnership with local hospitality schools.
Meanwhile, Group Business Development and Investment Manager for Constantino Group of Companies underscored the benefits of government subsidies and tax exemption provided to companies to foster investment growth.
These sectors are serviced by SMEs. We're talking about, dive operators, Kokoda trek operators, guides, birdwatching guides. These are the grassroots. Industry providers that really drive demand from an organic level, and we've got to start somewhere in Papua New Guinea. So incentivising these SMEs by extending tax incentives to them also is an important initiative, not just for the big end of town like us, but for smaller operators. because this is where growth in tourism numbers start. So
the conversations fostered during day 2 of the conference is beneficial in guiding the tourism sector into the next era. Collaboration and alignment of development plans for growth was an echoing message throughout the conference. The Internal Revenue Commission conducted a breakfast session with the lay business community this morning, where they outlined some of the tax relief measures introduced by the national government. Some of these measures include the zero rating of the goods and services tax on 13 essential items, superannuation tax, and exemption and retirement savings account relief.
This morning, the Internal Revenue Commission briefed the lay business community on the range of tax relief measures that were introduced by the Marape Rosso government in the 2025 budget. The key relief measures are zero-rated goods and services tax on 13 essential items, simplified tax filing for small businesses, where businesses earning below the 1.5 million kina threshold can now file GST returns on a quarterly basis and not monthly, and first home buyer incentives, where the stamped duty exemption has been raised from 500,000 kina to 700,000 kina. A topic that needed more awareness was the superannuation tax exemption, where under the new reform, individuals who have worked for 15 years or more will now enjoy full exemption from tax on their superannuation withdrawals. Speaking with media after the session, IRC Commissioner General Sam Coim said as a tax administration, they are not just interested in collecting taxes, but also would like to help ease the burden of tax compliance.
In the last budget, there were a couple of changes that were made, and a lot of reliefs were offered as well, including the basket of goods for the 13 essential items to help ease the households, people with the necessary. So that is our team is working to have that relief effected on July this year. So that's also a relief where taxpayers are now exempted from coming to tax office every now and then, every time when they exhaust the limit. So now they at least have a 1.5 million to remit the offices.
The essential goods that the IRC is looking at lowering their cost will include rice, canned fish, cooking oil, and soap. During the session, the Commissioner of Tax, Sam Loy, said their team is currently gathering information, adding business houses should anticipate a survey to determine which brands are commonly sold, in what sizes, and to also see how sales codes are applied to the different items. Coim outlined that these relief measures are in response to rising inflation and its impact on households. Kamala Guare, TV1 News, Lay.
Jumba Market in Medang Province reopened on Sunday following 3 years of closure. An initiative of former town mayor and Ward 7 member Ishmael Yama. This project was delayed when he contested for the national general elections in 2022. Years on, the community and youth leaders saw how mothers and women within their community struggled to make ends meet and decided to revive the initiative and have it completed.
To complete the market, an interim market board of management was set up to kickstart funding and operations for the construction of building of the market, led by Andy Andama, the market manager, and Anis Dege, the treasurer, in collaboration with community youth. They sourced funding from small business houses, the Chinese community, general community within the ward area. Former ward council and town mayor Ishmael Yama was also behind completing the market. Town Mayor Peter Yalsi, in opening the new market, outlined that all the 10 wards of Medang Urban have a hand called on people not to set up illegal markets at undesignated locations, noting that these illegal markets breed criminal activities. He encouraged mothers and members of Ward 7 to utilize their market to generate income and urged the CPUs to be vigilant in community security.
So this like an initiative where come up, please you block take him out. Don't take it for granted. Mr. Lo saboting CPU blow you blow here. Me by Sanabi one block police boot blow you blow lo side lo have one block container by Sanap. This is a police boot and by staff well CPU na policeman blow what's run by work. So look at the market.
Market manager Andy Andama was instrumental in the creation of the interim board of management to ensure the market open. Andama would like to see everyone take ownership of the market.
No go come the funding and come through lobbies from the big man especially. The sudden them come up through the bell not thinking the one market because middle like in this market to come up.
Frida Kana, TV1 News.
The Motu Koita communities in Port Moresby are currently benefiting from a week-long free dental and medical outreach at the Meterea Urban Health Centre. The initiative, led by Dr. Ajitha Sugnaman and her team of healthcare professionals from the Assassin Foundation in Australia, aims to improve access to essential health services. The program runs from April 7th to the 11th.
Meterea Urban Health Centre has been busy this week as hundreds of community members arrive daily to receive free oral checkups and basic medical care. The outreach is part of a partnership between Motu Koita Health and the Assassin Foundation. Now in its second year, the foundation's dental and medical outreach program made its debut in 2024, where more than 2,600 children and adults received free dental services over 5 days. This year's team of 21 Australian volunteers returned and are once again serving the needs of the Motu Koita people. The initiative was made possible through the ongoing support of the Motu Koita Assembly and is a testament to international collaboration in improving community health. The Motu Koita Assembly acknowledged the foundation and program supporters for ensuring the services reach local families. The services are available each day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Local residents, including children and the elderly, are making the most of the opportunity, lining up early to access services that would otherwise be costly or unavailable. Among those supporting the outreach is newly crowned Hiri Hanenamo, Louisa Margaret Udia, who was actively involved in assisting with dental registrations, promoting community awareness, and showing solidarity with the health mission. As the outreach continues through to Friday, it's clear that the week-long program is more than just about oral health. It's about creating lasting partnerships and bringing smiles to those in need. For the Motu Koita community, it's a meaningful step towards better health, driven by compassion and international cooperation. Susan Oreape, TV1 News.
Now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at 0.2459 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2384 US dollars, 0.3854 Australian dollars, 0.2098 euro, and 34.78 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, cocoa, and crude oil closed higher. Coffee, palm oil, and copper closed lower. And copper closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. TV1 News continues after these short messages. Stay with us.
time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic Kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste P&G loves.
These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing, bum bum.
Boom! The One Talk jackpot is rolling over week on week. 650,000 Kina. Get your tickets now. Draws every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Play now at 321lotto.com.pg or any of your 321 authorized retailer. 321. Win big every day.
Help stop the spread of germs and protect your loved ones with Protex. Here are some simple hand washing tips. Use soap or liquid hand wash. Vigorously scrub hands in circular motion. Scrub in between fingers and nails. Do not forget the back of the palm and around the wrist. Rinse with clean running water. Dry hands with a clean paper towel or cloth. Protex. Clean hands, good health.
Thanks for staying with us. Apart from providing free health services on the ship, members of the Youth Without a Mission, or more commonly known as YWAM team, find time to engage with communities in different activities. 10 volunteers from the ship graced Medang town on Friday, sharing the word of God in the Ward 4 area in the Medang Urban LLG.
Team leader Sydney Shock, age 21, led the group to conduct the outreach in town. The team has been part of the YWAM ship for 3 years, and the members were inspired by the reception provided by the people of Papua New Guinea.
YWAM Medang is doing lots of work in Medang and in Papua New Guinea, and God is using them to do amazing things, and they want to see revival in Papua New Guinea and see all of Papua New Guinea come to Jesus and wholeheartedly come to Jesus and be able to be missionaries with us. We want to share about Jesus and what Jesus has done in our lives. We are only here because of Him. He brought us here specifically, and we're so humbled to get to just be a part of it for a little bit. And yeah, we are going on the YWAM Liberty ship tomorrow to go to some other villages on the coastlands, and it's been amazing. We love Papua New Guinea, and we can see that God loves Papua New Guinea so much.
Chok says their work through the YWAM has been transformative both physically and spiritually as they progress YWAM's mission and visions.
I felt called to missions when I was young, and I've always wanted to travel. And as I got older, God continued to open doors for me to work with YWAM. And YWAM loves to see young people in missions because YWAM believes that you're never too young to share the gospel and to do ministry. So I think I'm very grateful to YWAM for giving me this opportunity, and to God for just doing amazing things with all of us young people. It is very amazing and humbling.
He has further encouraged youth to repent and give their lives to Jesus. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
Mari Stops Papua New Guinea and Family PNG have signed a Memorandum of Understanding recently to enhance collaboration in providing critical services to survivors of sexual and gender-based violence and family and sexual violence in Papua New Guinea. The MOU aims to improve access to integrated, high-quality care for vulnerable individuals. It also outlines a shared commitment to training, awareness, advocacy, and referral pathways to ensure survivors receive comprehensive support. Turning abroad, Anthony Albanese maintains his government still in contact with the Trump administration, pressing its case for a reprieve from tariffs. And the campaign trail today took Peter Dutton to a steelmaker which could be harmed by America's rising trade barriers. but which is supporting the coalition's policy for cheaper gas.
You win it, mate, hands down.
Seeking certainty when it's hard to find, Anthony Albanese's belief in markets is unshakable. He went to one.
I love all of them.
Savouring the prospect of rate cuts to come.
The markets have an expectation that there will be another rate cut just after the election.
While castigating the tariffs likely to cause them.
It certainly is not an appropriate action, and it certainly isn't reciprocal. How's it looking, Treasurer?
In downtown Towers, Jim Chalmers bunkered with central bankers and regulators.
We are confident that we can weather these global conditions.
Barely pausing campaign hostilities.
Peter Dutton's lies about the budget and the economy are bordering on pathological.
They can throw mud, you would expect it.
Further west, Peter Dutton got to touch and feel a Trump tariffed product.
What about this orange one?
Rolled steel for Colorbond, which, if exported to America, would be hit with a 25% charge.
And you've got the option, I suppose, of just setting up in the US.
But he didn't come for a tariff chat. BlueScope happens to be a massive gas user.
We can bring down the cost of steel and bricks.
The opposition leaders finally released the figuring behind the plan to hold back more East Coast gas for domestic rather than foreign customers.
I think we can see an impact very quickly.
His modelling by Frontier Economics suggests industrial gas prices could fall by 15% and immediately when new contracts are signed. For retail prices paid by households, price cuts of 7% for gas and 3% for electricity are predicted. By when? Progressively, with a lag, and ultimately is Frontier's wide-open timeline. The coalition's? Well, it depends.
We should be seeing, after 12 months of operation, an impact on bills.
By the end of this calendar year, and that's when you'll start to see a reduction in those prices.
Retail
Andrew?
prices?
Yes.
Retail prices
Yeah.
this year.
The only gas policy that the coalition have is gaslighting the Australian public.
Apart from those contradictions on timing, the coalition's document makes no prediction of any flow-on savings that could come from price cuts for big gas users. Peter Dutton's not as reticent, though. He's promising food and grocery prices will fall, showing a faith in markets that hasn't recently been rewarded and which is now certain to be held to.
Angry doctors have marched on the Premier's office on the second day of their strike over pay and conditions. While there's been no progress in negotiations, the government's thanked the union for helping keep emergency departments afloat.
They might be on strike, but they're still doing their rounds.
This is our line in the sand, and we will not back down! No, we won't!
From St George Hospital, they marched to the Premier's office to give him their diagnosis.
What do we do when the system is hemorrhaging doctors? Stand up like that!
We're at breaking point because we're the people in the system that are trying to hold it together, and we're not getting any support from the government.
The government says about 3,000 doctors took part in today's strike, putting more strain on surgical waiting lists. New South Wales hospitals average about 900 per day. Yesterday's surgery cancellation figure was 370. 2 days into the strike, that's reached a total of 614. But emergency rooms are still meeting benchmarks, with the union helping the government fill critical gaps in the system.
They've released their members to actually do this work and fill these shifts.
Doctors want a 30% pay rise across the workforce, but insist they don't expect that in a single year. The government says it wants to focus first on junior doctors' pay. In New South Wales, they have a first-year base salary of $76,000, the lowest in the country. In Victoria, it's $83,000. In Queensland, they start at more than $90,000.
No one is hiding under a rock and pretending that we're not aware of discrepancies. I'm well aware of that.
The government says there are 600 more doctors in the public system now than there were a year ago. But it's acknowledged that without better pay, more of them will look for a better deal, either in the private sector or interstate. Doctors say their conditions are just as important as their pay.
I have seen grown men and women break down in tears after being on their feet for 50 hours without sleeping, without a break.
The strike's set to continue tomorrow,
We'll be back!
and that may not be the end of it.
Rooftop solar has been around for many years, but its popularity is evergreen, with many ACT residents installing it to save on their power bills. This comes as energy continues to be a hot topic for federal election voters.
Most of the roof is up covered.
When Russell Mowbray decided to renovate his Tuggeranong home, solar panels were the top of his list.
Absolutely love it. It's not like a conscious decision now that we have to go and turn the air conditioning off or we can't use the heating. We can live comfortably without it being an excessive cost.
Mr Mowbray runs a home renovation company, and every customer he sees asks him about solar.
There's a line and most people are pretty comfortable putting solar on because that's a nice, easy, quick way to help them out with bills, basically. So that's the end game.
A third of all ACT homes have solar panels installed, and the price for an average system is currently the cheapest in the country. Over the last 10 years, the upfront cost to install an average size system in the ACT has nearly halved. By about 5 to 7 years, the system will be fully paid off. It's been a big shift in a relatively small amount of time.
When I started, solar energy was a very small endeavour, small panels in remote areas and on satellites, and today it is a global juggernaut.
The source and cost of our power is a big federal election issue. The federal opposition says nuclear should be a key component of Australia's mix, despite research demonstrating it would be significantly more expensive for consumers.
So you would be taking a lot of the cost of that onto the government balance sheet, which means that either we're paying higher taxes, we're borrowing more money and pushing more debt onto future generations, or we're accepting lower government services.
Some researchers do support a nuclear power industry for Australia and say we have the know-how to do it.
It does things that no other producer of electricity can do. For example, it will produce electricity with very high security, very high availability, irrespective of the weather conditions or whether it's day or night.
But Canberrans are looking to cut their energy bills now.
Most people they're looking to where they can save money, and typically the sun's number one.
An increasingly popular way to save on power.
And that ends the news segment. In sports, Hekarin Grand Final and clubs ready for 2025 season. Those stories after the break.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello Better Banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
Welcome back. Hikari United FC have set up a clash with Auckland City FC in the final of OFC Men's Champions League 2025, defeating AS Tiga Sport 1-0 in the second semi-final at the National Stadium in Honiara yesterday.
The former winners against
Hikari's victory marks their return to the final for the first time since winning the competition in 2010, with head coach Jerry Allen the only survivor from their title-winning run 15 years ago. A hard-fought final showdown for Allen and team as he recounts on the years of hard yards finally paying off.
They are proud as well. After 15 years, we came a long way, but today we are happy to be in the final. But for us, we are amateur, but we're going to try. We'll make sure we will give them a very good game on Saturday.
A first-half strike from Rex Naime proved the difference for Hikari United, falling to the lead as Tiga Sports' chances were dented by the loss of a man in the second stanza. In contrast, AS Tiga Sport were making their first appearance at the semi-final stage of the competition and were hoping to become the first New Caledonian club to reach the final of the OFC Men's Champions League since 2019. In cooler conditions compared to the day's earlier semi-final, Hikari adopted the aggressive approach that served them well through the group stages, pressing high and playing direct at every opportunity. Fresh from scoring a hat-trick in the final game of the group stage, Hikari tried to get Rex Naime involved as much as possible. He injected himself into the action straight from the kick, powering a long-range effort just wide of the bottom right corner inside 10 seconds. Tiga felt as though they had found a way to nullify his threat as the first half progressed until the speedy winger found the back of the net in the 27th minute. This, however, was the only goal for the entire match. Hikari now meets Auckland City FC in the final at the National Stadium on Saturday. Susan Oriape, TV1 Sports.
The captains of the teams in the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup have assured rugby league fans across the nation that they are set to deliver another exciting rugby league season this year. The club captains provided insight into their preparations and their anticipation for the season at the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup competition launch in Port Moresby.
3, 2, 1. The Hella Wigmen fell short to Mount Hagen Eagles in the 2024 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup Grand Final in the physical encounter. Licking their wounds, the Wigmen indicated they are prepared to avenge their defeat with a strong season this year. Veteran Wigmen skipper Solomon Pokare expressed that the Wigmen have recruited a few players from other Digicel ExxonMobil Cup franchises in preparation for the season. He said they are hoping for a good season, placing emphasis on the club's long-standing culture.
We have a strong culture in our team, especially from the management down to the players. So every year, we got this faith, I believe that we must still stop in to top 6 and then go second or final set. So
the Bintango Garuka Lahanis, on the other hand, failed to feature in the finals last year after making the grand final the previous year, 2023. It was a fall from grace from the champion club from Eastern Highlands Province, but the club has showed commitment to reinvigorate their winning ways. Lahanis keeper Charlie Bukas said his team has been working hard over the pre-season to find the form that took them to grand final in 2023.
Pre-season early November, almost 6 weeks. Get down, work hard. lo bring the spirit lo 2023 back. Bonding lo boys lo last year, no plenty changes. All boys start yet, all last year boys. Now some of boys we make him through the 2023 final. As our style team yet, so we just get down and work hard, bring him the spirit 2023 back team.
For the West New Britain franchise Kimbe Cutters, there are heaps of work to do. Team captain Ja Hogan said they started the season strong last year, but faded towards the end of the season, hurting their chances of playing finals football. Hogan said the team is hoping to play consistent football and make the finals this year.
We have set goals there. This year we look forward to just play hard and make sure hopefully we get into the top 6 and we see from there.
The 2025 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup competition kicks off this weekend. Rex Litter, TV1 Sports.
Meanwhile, ahead of the competition opener this weekend, General Manager of Pathways and Performance Tony Archer emphasized that discipline should remain a priority for the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup players. He made this comment following questions regarding the effectiveness of PNG Rugby League and its judiciary when dealing with players on field disciplinary issues. Archer said there were some issues with players last season where players refused to comply with the decisions of match officials. He said regardless, the competition's judicial system hasn't changed and will be implemented to improve the discipline of the game, as he expects all the players to comply with the competition's judiciary.
Absolutely. Judiciary is obviously something that's really important to improve the discipline of the game. We need our game to be disciplined at all levels for our players, not only for the players' safety, but for the game, and to encourage people to play it. So we took a strong approach to judiciary last year, and we'll continue to do that in this year, and all the clubs are well aware of that. We're not changing from what we did. The judiciary system hasn't changed. Clubs have the right to go to judiciary if they don't believe that they're guilty of those particular charges, and we have a really robust system that all the clubs are aware of, and we'll continue that.
PNG Hunters coach Paul Aiton has welcomed the inclusion of the towering prop forward Stephen Bruno in the team, describing him a good bloke. Aiton said Bruno hasn't been a massive addition to the team in the opening month of the Host Plus Cup season, but also a good person to have in the team.
The PNG Hunters are on their way to another away game this Sunday against Ipswich Jets, where the Hunters' towering prop, Stephen Bruno, will be making his 5th straight appearance for the club. The prop has featured in all Hunters games so far, as the Hunters aim to record 3 consecutive wins on the Troth. Coach Paul Aiton praised Bruno for his contribution to the team in the first month of the competition. Aiton did not only praise Bruno for his on-field contribution, but also for his outgoing personality, both on and off-field.
Yeah, I think Stephen's one of the new boys, so he's still learning. I mean, he's not polished, and he's not polished yet, but he's got a lot of good things going for him, and he's good to have around the group as well. We want good people in this club and in this team, and he's a good person, like everyone else. So he's got things that he needs to improve on, like a few others, but we're just working on it each week. So he's been really good for us. I think he's a good man.
Aiton said Bruno has been a massive addition to the team, adding size and leg speed to the mobile forward pack. He has again been named for this weekend's clash, coming off the bench, along with Koso Bandi. The starting props include Jebedi Keep and Jordan Peth. While expressing excitement for the opportunity to put on the Hunters jersey, Bruno conceded he made the Hunters final squad and the starting side on the brink of giving up on the opportunity.
Yes, lo training with me and me lo block 1 and me like give up strategy. Me like give up lo training and go against it. And that people so strong. Strong na start go making 17 or 18 saya.
Both Coach Aiton and Bruno admitted that there are a lot of rooms to improve on, and they will be working on those areas as the season progresses. The PNG Hunters and Ipswich Jets sit 6th and 7th places respectively on the points ladder going into this contest. They are expected to put up a strong game. The game will be broadcasted on TV1 Sports 2 on Sunday at 3 p.m. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
The Lay Under-17s male team has once again showcased its talent at the 2025 PNG NRL Academy Tournament, achieving back-to-back victories against strong opponents Goroka and Mount Hagen during Day 2 of Pool B games at the National Sports Institute in Goroka yesterday. Lay's impressive run began earlier with a clean sweep in the under-15 male category, where they also defeated both Goroka and Mount Hagen. Their under-17 campaign kicked off with a match against Goroka, followed by a successful outing against Mount Hagen. A proud coach, Moses Paita, highlighted the execution of their game plan and the strong defensive play. He noted that the hard work, commitment and sacrifice from the players have certainly paid off as they now set their sights on the pool finals scheduled in Port Moresby on May 10. Looking ahead, the last round of Pool B matches will feature an exciting under-18 female challenge between Lay, Goroka and Mount Hagen. The winners from these matches will also advance to the grand final in Port Moresby on May 10, where titles will be contested in the under-15 and under-17 male as well as the under-18 female categories. That ends the sports segment. We'll now move on to the weather forecast. Southern Port Moresby, sunny to partly cloudy, evening with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Momase, Lay, becoming cloudy with evening heavy showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy periods with heavy showers and thunderstorms. Highlands, Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, mostly cloudy with heavy showers and thunderstorms. Coral Sea, seas slight with northeast to southeast winds of 10 to 15 knots. Solomon Sea, seas smooth to slight with northeast to southeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. Bismarck Seas, seas smooth to slight with northeast to easterly winds of 5 to 15 knots. Pacific Ocean, seas slight to moderate with easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots with gusts. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru, Kiwai Island, Kerema, Yule Island, Hood Point, Samara Island to Cape Bogle, and all Milne Bay Islands seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. That's the news tonight. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by
For effective planning and execution, you need insights, engagement, and innovation. Trend Media, your 360 degrees digital solution partner, has you covered. Our market research and surveys give you the data you need to make smart decisions. From corporate events to product launches, our event management team ensures every detail is flawless. And in today's digital-first world, our digital initiatives keep you ahead. Call Trend Media now on 7222-0210 or email trendmediapng@digitalpacific.com. Trend Media, your 360-degree advertising and digital partner.
Ich habe aufgesperrt, bin reingegangen, habe nach meiner Mutter gerufen. Im Wohnzimmer ist sie gelegen.
did as well.
Finally they break through, and finally they hit the lead.
Whittaker choke it. Was it a copper?
I definitely won.
He quit.
He swallowed it.
No way he thought to himself, I'm going to grab Liam Cameron and risk breaking my f***ing neck. Yeah, something off the WWE.
I don't think either fighter was at fault.
Ben Whittaker's never showed us any signs of swallowing it before.
The truth is, Ben Whittaker knows. That might be the moulding of him.
Stand up and let's fight. Let's make it right. Stand up and let's fight.
Whittaker versus Cameron 2, live April 20th on Fight Sports.